Good morning, and welcome to this session of mindfulness and action practice. We like to say good morning, even if it's evening where you are, because the sun of wakefulness is always ready to dawn. And we have that capacity to be fully present. And that's why we're able to do this. We have the capacity to be fully present. In fact, what we understand with mindfulness is that being fully present is our nature. It's our basic mode. That's the default setting, being fully, because our bodies are always present. Unless you have a time machine, the location of our bodies in space is always here, and the location of our bodies in time is always now. So our bodies are always in the here and now, but our mind is a time machine that goes to the past, the future, and elsewhere in the present. So to synchronize our mind and body, to be fully present in mind and body, that's the purpose of our mindfulness practice. Now, we're going to go through the stages of grounding and getting us settled, because in today's world of so many stresses, when we're under stress, our energy moves up in our body and faster. We literally get uptight. Nobody's ever said, yesterday I was kind of down tight. We don't have that expression. We have uptight because our energy moves up and faster. And sometimes we just get used to that, and we walk around with our shoulders near our ears, and somebody says, relax, and you go, I am relaxed. And you go, well, what about this? Oh my gosh, I had no idea. We start to be accustomed to that and think that that's our natural state, but it's an overlay on top of the natural state of simply being present, body and mind synchronized. Excuse me. So we do the grounding practice, get ourselves settled, and then we do what's called close placement, which is keeping our awareness close to us. It's like having a new puppy. You don't just let it run around in the yard and hope it comes when you call. You keep it on a short leash, and when it goes away, you pull it back. So the closest place we can hold our mind is in our body. So we're going to focus on the internal sensation of the breathing, the feeling of filling as the breath comes in, the feeling of emptying as the breath goes out. The mind does tend to wander. And so when you wander into a daydream, at some point you will wake up. Otherwise, you'll go off into a daydream and never come back. At that point, you're already back. As soon as you wake up, you're awake, you're here and now in that moment. So although some people say come back to the present, that's not really what's going on. You're already in the present. As soon as you wake up, you're already back. What we come back to is what we were paying attention to, what we've chosen to pay attention to, the breath and the body in this case. And the original word for mindfulness in the ancient Indian language could be translated as remembering what you're doing. So at that moment, when we wake up out of a daydream, we remember where we are and remember what we were doing, which was being with the breath and the body. After we do that part of the practice, we'll do open or environmental awareness, in which we let the mind wander, but wander among our sense perceptions in the present moment. And then after that, we'll take a couple of minutes to do a compassion practice. I'm here in California. You can see the clouds behind me. That's a little valley called Ojai where I live, but near Santa Barbara, there was just another wildfire, and there are wildfires all over California. We have the wilds of our minds and the world of politics, the world of this COVID pandemic, climate change. It's pretty much all anybody can handle. And so we want to do compassion practice both for ourselves and for everyone else in the world. And that's how we'll finish the session. So hopefully we'll have a little time for discussion as well. So we start with taking a good upright posture. We want to be upright, but not rigid. If we're slumped, we tend to get drowsy and fall asleep. If our chin goes up and we get kind of spaced out. So we want to sit upright. You know, remember when you were a kid in class and they said, sit up and pay attention. That's up and pay attention. So if you let your chin don't pull it in, but it's more if you extend the back of your neck upwards, your chin naturally comes in a little bit. And that's the smoothest flow as we breathe in through our nostrils. And the breath goes up and then down the back of our throats, filling our torso. As you breathe out, mainly through the nostrils, you can breathe out a little bit through your mouth if you want. But we want our lips, we want our jaw relaxed, we want our lips just barely touching or just barely parted, like that. If you're sitting in a chair, either feet flat on the floor, or if you have long legs, you can cross your feet in front of you, just so there's less strain on your back. Hands either in your lap, crossed one on top of the other, palms up like this, or each hand palm down on the back of your thighs, just behind your knees, so that your upper arms are hanging straight down. And just be with the posture for a moment. If you're not sure if you're sitting up straight, you can tilt slightly left and right until you find the middle. Slightly forward and back until you find the middle. While you're waiting for the next instruction, there you are, you're simply being. For the first part of this practice, the grounding practice, let your eyes gently close. Tune in to your body all the way through. Inhabit your body fully. Wiggle your toes, feel your feet, flex your calf and thigh muscles. Excuse me. Wiggle around your seat on the chair or cushion. Feel your arms, wiggle your fingers, your back, your chest, your stomach, your whole torso. Just activate everything. Shoulders and neck. Feel your face muscles, your ears, eyes. Now, having activated, we want to clear out any unnecessary tension. We need some tension to hold our posture, but beyond that, we can just let it go. And let it just melt or sweep out of you. With your awareness, starting at the top of your head, just be aware of any extra tension you feel in your forehead, your scalp, around your eyes and ears, cheekbones and jaw. Often we hold more tension in our jaw than we realize. If you need to wiggle it, you can wiggle it a little bit and just let the tension melt out of it. Neck and shoulders. Also, we hold tension in our shoulders sometimes and don't realize it, as we talked about before. Just let your shoulders hang naturally. Let the extra tension just melt out of them. Upper arms, collarbone and shoulder blades, chest and upper back. Rib cage all around. Lower back and deep belly. Often more tension in our deep belly than we realize. If you need to, you can intensify that a little bit, tense it, and then really let go without losing your posture. Hips and pelvis, thighs, forearms, and hands, knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Take one nice full breath in, back to the top of your head. And as you breathe out, slowly breathe out. Feel like you're sweeping all the unnecessary tension out from head to toe. If you want to take 2 or even 3 breaths to do it, whatever lets you feel like you're sweeping that tension out. Posture upright but relaxed. And again, as you breathe out, feel your awareness drift down deeper into your body. We usually think of our minds as being up behind our forehead. Let your mind drop down. Let your awareness drop down past your throat, past your chest and solar plexus, down past your navel. Set your awareness deep in the core of your torso. A couple of inches below the navel, just in front of your spine. Feel it moving gently as the breath goes in and out. Now we'll work with the breath to get us even more grounded. As you breathe out, take a full breath in, and as you breathe out, slowly breathe out and feel yourself sink into the chair. Too often we think we're sitting, but we're actually perching on our chair. Breathe out and sink in to the chair or cushion you're on. Full breath in and slowly breathe out and feel like you're sinking down through your seat, through the floor, and merging with the earth. One more breath, feel fully merged with the earth as you breathe out. That's as grounded and solid as you can be. Merged with the earth, but with an upright posture, extending upward like a mountain, majestically. Part of the earth, but extending upward toward the sky. Let your breath come and go naturally. We've been using the breath. Now we're going to be less a director and more an observer. Notice a long breath or a short breath. your body breathing by itself, shallow or deep, just let it be as it is, coming and going like the wind. And set the intention for your mind to be open, open like the sky, spans the earth looking down on it without prejudice, without an agenda, open to whatever is going on. Body like a mountain, breath like the wind, mind like the sky. Excuse me. Gently let your eyes open about halfway. Look down below your eyelids diagonally. If you're looking right at your computer or other device, you can turn slightly sideways so that you're looking down and aware of the space that you're sitting in. The bottom part of your vision, you can see your lap. So be aware of your posture in the space you're sitting in. And now tune in to the feeling of filling as the breath comes in and emptying as the breath goes out. Again, you're more an observer than a director. So don't try to fill yourself with air. Don't try to push it out. Your body does that naturally. Just notice what it feels like as the breath comes in and fills you, what it feels like as the breath goes out and empties. We'll do that for a couple of minutes. And again, if your mind wanders off into a daydream, have a sense of humor about it. When you wake up, when you realize your mind was elsewhere, at that moment, you can just have the thought wandering. Just label it as that was being away. Now I'm already back. Return to body and breath. And all of those thoughts can be just coded in one word, thinking or wandering. Reinvigorate your posture if you need to. And tune back in to what it feels like as the breath comes in and out by itself. If you've gotten drowsy, just sit up straighter, open your eyes a little more, look more straight ahead. If you feel like your mind is wild all over the place, focus your awareness in the deep core of your torso, what that feels like as the breath comes in and out. Drowsy, move your mind up. You can feel the breath coming in and out of your nostril. Wild mind, move your awareness down. Feel yourself sitting on the cushion or chair. Feel the deep core of your torso with your breath. Another technique to maintain your focus a little better is to pay more close attention to the details of the feelings. The breath as it comes in through your nostrils, starting to fill you, filling, and that moment when you're completely full and there's a tiny gap of transition, then the start of the out breath, emptying and empty at the end, starting to fill, filling and full, starting to empty, emptying and empty. Notice as much detail as you can. Another technique to hold your awareness, your mindfulness, is counting the breaths. You can count 1 in, 2 out, 3 in, 4 out. Just go to 10 and start over again. And if you've drifted off into thoughts and lost count, or if you've switched things around and you're breathing in on the even numbers and out on the odd numbers, just smile and go, oh, I was thinking or wandering. Reconnect with your posture and start counting again at 1. And then you can extend that and just count the out breaths. Out 1, let the breath come in, out 2, and again to 10, and start over. Of course, if you find yourself on 13 or 14, you were just counting by rote and your mind was really elsewhere. So again, smile, reinvigorate your posture, and start again at 1. As the sound of the gong fades, just relax, drop the technique, and simply be in your body, in your awareness of the present moment. Good. Now just move around a little bit, take a little break. What's recommended in mindfulness practice is not to push yourself, but to do short sessions more often rather than try to gut it out for a long session. It's always good to finish whatever practice you're doing, even if it's exercise sessions, finish before you're tired out, finish before you're not having a good time. And then you'll want to come back for more. So to keep yourself fresh, it's good to take a break. Those were lots of different kinds of techniques that are used, and it's up to you to experiment and find what works for you. For some people, when they're paying attention to the details of starting to fill, filling, and full, starting to empty, their mind is so occupied with those, there's no room for thoughts, and everything relaxes. So find that practice that you can work with and relax in for a little bit. And if you need to move around, if you need to stand up and stretch, that's fine. Get yourself comfortable again. And now we'll start with the awareness practice. So take your good posture, and as the sound of the gong fades, raise your gaze, look out straight ahead. Again, if you need to look to the side because your device is right in front of you, do that, or look above and over it. And open up your peripheral vision as wide as it can. You can relax your face muscles to open up your eyes to a wider peripheral vision, higher and lower. You can see your lap above you, maybe the ceiling, the lap below you, maybe the ceiling above you. Everything off to your left and right. Let your awareness move through around your field of vision without moving your eyes, and explore your field of vision, and without naming things particularly or commenting on them, just notice the different colors, shapes, and shades of light and dark in your environment. If the name of something comes to mind, that's fine. Just let it be there. Lamp, tree, wall. Need to add commentary to it. Just move on to other shapes, colors, shades of light and dark. Now, leaving your eyes open, shift to hearing. Listen for sounds, my voice coming out of your device, sounds in the room around you. Open up your hearing, like your peripheral hearing, in all directions around you. Listen for sounds as far away as you can hear. Be open to all the sounds, high and low pitch, near and far, loud and soft. Tune into your bodily sensations. Again, leaving your eyes open, be aware of the air on the skin of your hands and face, the cloth on your shoulders, your legs, your weight, your sit bones pressing into your cushion or chair, feet pressing the floor. The cool, dry air coming in through your nostrils, warm, moist air going out. Your torso moving as the air comes in and fills you and empties. You might feel your heartbeat in your chest or your fingertips, or neck or wrists. Notice if there are any smells in your room or coming in from outside. Perfumes, aromas. If you've just had something to eat or drink, there might be a residual taste. And notice the next thought that arises in your mind. Just wait for a thought to appear. Notice how long it lasts and see the next thought that comes up. Are your thoughts in words, pictures, sounds? Where are your thoughts happening? Where does it feel like they're happening? In your head, behind you, above you? Observe. And now, let your mind move to whatever sense perception you'd like. Whichever one you're on becomes the foreground, the rest go to the background. If something catches your eye, stay for a few moments with your visual. If your mind is taken by a sound, stay with sounds for a few moments. If a thought takes your mind, make thoughts the object of your mindfulness. Notice the thoughts for a few moments. Let your mind go wherever it will and stay for as long as it wants on any of the sense perceptions. including thoughts. But if in seeing or observing the thoughts take you away into a daydream, when you realize it, again, smile and come back to your body and awareness of the environment. We'll do that for a couple of minutes. And as the Gong Phase, just let go of any intention of trying to be aware of anything. Just relax and wait. My teacher used to say that was the best meditation when the gong sounded and you go, oh, now I don't have to try so hard. And then you're just being. So again, get yourself a little more, move if you need to, refresh yourself. And we're going to do just a very abbreviated compassion practice today. We did a lot of the mindfulness practice today. If you want to see a more thorough compassion practice, you can go to the YouTube channel, the Dr. Joe Parent YouTube channel, in the mindfulness playlist. And some of those sessions, we go a little more deeply into the compassion practice. So today we're just going to do a brief one. This is one you can do on the spot at any time. And just be aware first of whatever you're feeling. You can have your eyes open or closed, whichever you choose. Whatever you're feeling of any kind of unhappiness, suffering, physical pain, And as you breathe in, gather your awareness of that in your mind. But as you breathe out, imagine that cool moonlight of kindness just fills your body and soothes all the suffering and unhappiness. Gather your awareness as you breathe in of all those feelings, and as you breathe out, they're all calmed, they're all soothed, they're all quieted. Breathe in and gather awareness of what you're feeling. Breathe out and breathe relief throughout your whole being. Gather and relieve. Do that for 2 more breaths. You can even make an sound as you breathe out. Gather. Relief. And now think of all your family and friends, everyone you've ever met, beings that you can even imagine in the world, humans, animals, all creatures great and small. And as you breathe in, think of all the suffering in the world and hold that in your mind as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, think that you're extending out that relief to all beings, and they all feel that relief. Breathe in and gather awareness of suffering in the world. Breathe out, and feel that they all experience that relaxation of tension. Gather and breathe out and extend that relief from suffering in all directions to all beings. Gather awareness of the suffering in the world. Breathe out and imagine that you can relieve all of that suffering as you breathe out. We all have the same nature as living beings. So in the same way that you can gather awareness of suffering and breathe out relief to yourself, in the same way, we're on the same wavelength. So as you gather in awareness of the world's suffering, as you breathe out, they also feel that relief from suffering. It may be momentary. It may last longer, but it makes a difference. Do 2 more breaths. Gather and extend universal relief. And as the sound of the gong fades, let go of that visualization, of that imagination. Just come back, open your eyes, be aware of your body, your breathing, your environment. And we'd like to conclude the sessions with practice to extend even further to others. And that is to dedicate whatever benefit came from the practice not just for ourselves, but to others as well. So you can repeat after me or put it in your own words. I'll break, excuse me, I'll break it into phases. May the practice I have just done be of benefit to others as well as myself. And as I like to say, if you're feeling particularly generous or want to cultivate generosity, may the practice I have just done be of even more benefit to others than to myself. And that enhances the power of the practice because you're sharing in that universal way with others. So we can, I'll invite you all to unmute yourself if you would like. And if you have any questions or comments, this would be a good time. Are you able to unmute?
Yeah, it's nice Good. To be back with you, Dr. Joe.
Hi, Jenny. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Very nice.
And if you had trouble unmuting, just wave. I can see your picture. Mike, there we go. Let's get you. Try. There you go.
Thank you.
Eric. Okay.
Here. Thank you.
Doug. And Lynn, if you'd like. Any thoughts, questions, comments? This is our waiting meditation. We just wait for thoughts, wait for comments. Well, it was lovely being here with all of you. So I think we're on 2 weeks from now. So let's close this session of guided mindfulness and compassion. Thank you very, very much.
Nice.